Do you want to live a long and useful life, many days? Well, God's word says in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Words can provoke wrath and acts of violence, and bad food choices made for taste only and not for nutritional value can kill you through obesity, as millions today are digging their graves with a knife and fork. And free speech can get you killed in many countries such as North Korea, where you can mysteriously disappear in the middle of the night simply for criticizing Kim Jong-un. In China, you don't have full access to information, especially alternative media and real truthful information, which is becoming more and more scarce throughout the world. Thus, lack of true information can get you killed also by possibly taking a bioweapon instead of something that was supposed to protect your health. And Proverbs chapter 12 verse 18 says, the tongue of the wise giveth health. And Proverbs chapter 15 verse 4, a wholesome tongue is a tree of life. Just think of it, life and death are in the tongue. So for your very health's sake, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking guile. The Lord said that it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but what comes out of a man. What comes out of your mouth is what will bring you success or ruin. Matthew chapter 12 verse 36 says, but I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. Do you realize that you're going to have to give an account for every idle word that comes out of your mouth? I want you to think about that the next time you're tempted to say an unkind word to or about your brother or sister, co-worker, mate, friend, or neighbor. Every idle word. That's E-V-E-R-Y, every word. How's that for an awesome thought? This is not an exaggeration, folks. The Lord means what he says. Every idle word. Do you know what an idle word is? An idle word is anything that doesn't minister faith, hope, or love to the hearer. An idle word is one that curses instead of blesses, that tears down instead of builds up, that ministers hurt and harm instead of peace and joy. You're not to be rash with your mouth. That means you're not to speak off the top of your head without praying first. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Read Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 2. And here's another good one. He that hath knowledge spareth his words. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27. So that's really being wise. Sometimes the best thing you can do is spare your words. Wisdom is being silent sometimes. He that refraineth his lips is wise. Read Proverbs chapter 10, verse 19. So if you want to get smart, learn to keep your mouth shut at the right times. Words are real things. They bless or they curse. They lift up or they knock down. They save or they damn. There's no in between. You'll give an account for every idle word. For by thy word shalt thou be justified, or by thy word shalt thou be condemned. So if you're discouraged, friend, for God's sake, don't put it into words. Whatever you do, don't voice your doubts and fears. Don't tell somebody else about it. Keep it to yourself and just share it with God if necessary. Others have enough troubles of their own without you dumping on them. They may already have burdens more than they can bear. Yours may be the last straw. When the Lord said, "Bear ye one another's burdens," He didn't mean that kind, a burden of doubt and anxiety and a lack of trust and faith in God. He meant to get under the load somebody else has and help them to lift it, not dump yours on top of somebody else who's already overloaded. That's the way some people like to share. Dump all the work on somebody else and then sit down and enjoy all the benefits. Bear ye one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. Means to help lift, not hinder, to ease the load, somebody else's load, not your own. And as for you, buddy, he says, let every man bear his own burden. You can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth you. Ask God for help. And if you really are overloaded, He'll help you. If you really need help, tell it to Jesus first of all. Seek the Lord. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and He shall sustain thee. Just roll it over on Jesus and roll over and go to sleep. And let Him stay up all night. Don't worry about it. Let the Lord do the worrying. His shoulders are broad enough to carry any load. All the burdens, all put together, including His own. Like the little girl said, and please take care of yourself, dear God, because if anything happens to you, we'd all be sunk. And that's for sure. Because every one of us is a hell of a mess, and if we don't keep our eyes on the Lord and our mind on His Word, we're doomed to defeat, doubt, and disillusionment, and final failure. Verses from the Bible on the tongue. Psalm chapter 109, verses 17 through 20. As he loved cursing, so let it come unto him. As he delighted not in blessing, so let it be far from him. As he clothed himself with cursing like as with his garment, so let it come into his bowels like water, and like oil into his bones.
A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife.
O generation of vipers! How can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. Isaiah prophesied of you, saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoureth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man.
Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirreth up strife, but love covereth all sin. There is that speaketh like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. If a wise man contendeth with a foolish man, whether he rage or laugh, there is no rest.
The General Epistle of James, Chapter 3. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beasts, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea, is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Doth the fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, either a vine figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace.
For the sake of others, watch your words. For your own sake, your very life's sake, watch your words. They'll bless or curse. They'll lift up or tear down. What are your words doing? Will you pray this prayer along with me and make it your prayer each and every day of your life? Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Read Psalms chapter 19, verse 14.